Hi everyone, thank you for your interest in becoming a learning destination for the Children's University. This is just going to be a quick tutorial on how to fill out the Learning Destination sign-up form on our website. So you should have the direct link to the sign-up form. However, if you don't, you simply have to go onto the Children's University website, click on Get Involved and then Learning Providers. So once you've clicked on that, you will be able to start the form. So I'm just going to click Next. And the first thing that you'll see is a list of yes/no questions. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to click yes for them all. But do make sure that when you're completing the form yourself, that you take a good look at the questions and thoroughly read them before choosing your answer. So I'll click Next again and Next again. So the next question is, for whom is the activity? So there's children from across the country. So if your activity is targeted at children from across the UK, if you have a UK-wide scope, or perhaps your activity is online, then you would click this answer. However, for the vast majority of learning destinations, the answer is children in your local area. So if your activity is targeted at local young people, then you would click this response. So once you've done that, you'll want to find your local children's university. So in North Wales, we have 3 local children's university areas. So that's Wrexham and Flintshire, Conwy and Denbighshire, and Anglesey and Gwynedd. So you just want to find the one that's closest to you. So for this example, I'm going to say that my activity is in Flintshire. So I'm just going to type that in there and search. And then, as you can see, Wrexham and Flintshire Children's University pops up. So I'm just going to select that. So now we've gotten on to the section of the form when we can input a lot of our information. So the first thing is activity title. So I'm going to put in my activity title. So lightsaber sessions for young people. And I'm also going to make sure that I put in the name of my club. So this just helps if people are on the website searching for activities and they want to check if maybe a club that they've heard about is part of the Children's University, then they can type in the name of that club. But if it's not in the title, it might not pop up. So I would really recommend just popping the name of your club in the title as well, just so it becomes as easy as possible for people to find it. So my club is called Flintshire Lightsaber Club. So I'm just going to pop that in the title as well. Then the next question is, do you need to be a member of a group or club to take part? So it's absolutely fine if this is yes or no. You can have a members only group on the Children's University. So I'm going to click yes here. But obviously, if you don't need to be a member, then just leave that blank. So as you can see here, I've just put a bit of information about how people can get involved and become a member. So they can sign up on our website or they can message us on WhatsApp. And I've also put a bit of information as well about who the sessions are open to and the sort of entry criteria of becoming a member. So in the case of my activity, to be a member, you have to be aged between 5 and 16. So yeah, in that section, just make sure you put some information about how they can become a member and sort of who can become a member as well. Next up, it's to describe the activity. So I would say that this is the most important section of the form. So this will be public facing and used as part of your online listing. So this is what young people, parents and teachers will see when they look for activities in their local area. So it's really important in this section to make your activity sound appealing, make sure that your language is child friendly, and also include as much information as possible and include as much detail as possible in your description. So as you can see here, I've put some information in about my activity. So are you a big Star Wars fan or simply interested in keeping fit and active in a new and interesting way? Well, why not join us at Flintshire Lightsaber Club? And yeah, just to go through a bit more of what I've included here, I've included the age range of my activity. I've included the fact that we offer a range of sessions depending on age and skill level. I've included where our activity takes place. I've also included how long the sessions run for and when they run. And then I've also included how people can find out more information about our activity. So a website, Facebook or Instagram. And I've also included how people can get in contact with us, so via email or via phone. So it's really important to include at least one form of contact. So perhaps that's a Facebook page, an Instagram page, an email address, or a phone number. It's really important to just include that just to make sure that people can get in contact with you. I'd also definitely recommend that if you do have a website or a social media page, to link that there so people can look at it for more information. So next up, what learning is involved. So this section is not public facing, so you don't need to make it pretty. Do feel free to just bullet point it if that's easier for you. This is just so that our team within the Children's University can assess the suitability of your activity as a learning destination. So the Children's University is a scheme that encourages young people to participate in learning outside of the classroom. So there does need to be some form of learning involved in your activity. And as you can see here, I've just put the different types of learning that young people will be involved with if they take part in my activity. So health and wellbeing, community spirit, communication, teamwork and leadership. Next up, when does it take place? So there's multiple different options here. So there might be no fixed time. It might be a one-off event. It could be every day / all the time, perhaps if it's an online activity that people can take part in at their own pace. Or it could be on a schedule. So I'm going to click that one. If your activity runs between specific dates, perhaps it's over the summer holidays or over winter, then you could just put in the specific dates that it runs between. However, I'm just going to click no. And I'm going to say that my activity runs on a Monday. And then underneath this, we just want you to put in some additional scheduling and running information. Okay, so as you can see, I've just put a quick line here. Our lightsaber training sessions run every Monday evening at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. They run continuously throughout the year. You might have noticed that I also put this information in the activity description, but I think it's just important to include the information as much as possible, even if you're repeating yourself, just to make it very clear to anyone reading your activity listing. So next, the minimum age for taking part. So I'm going to put 5 to 16 for mine, but as you can see, you can also click none if there's no age limit. And then, is there a cost to take part? It's absolutely fine if there is a cost to take part. Your activity doesn't need to be free. However, we just ask that you input what the cost will be and any additional cost information that you could think people might need to know, please just include that in the form. But for mine, I'm going to say no, there's no cost involved. And then activity duration, my activity takes place for 1 hour each week, so I'm going to put 1. Next up, which categories does your activity best fit into? So you can pick up to 4, but you don't have to pick 4. Please just pick the ones that are applicable to your activity. So for mine, I'm going to pick sports and physical, and that's it. I'm not going to pick up to 4, I'm just going to pick that one. And then what skills will be gained by participants? Again, you can pick up to 3, but you don't have to pick 3. So I'm going to pick teamwork and leadership and listening, because they'll need to listen to the activity instructors and make sure they're taking in those ideas. And then if your activity engages with employers, please do just note it here. This is optional though, so if your activity doesn't engage with employers, please do just leave that blank. So next we'll list where the activity takes place. There's multiple different options here, but I'm just going to click a single fixed location. So I'm going to put in the fictional address of Northup Leisure Centre. But if you have a real address, you can search it and it should come up in the drop down here. And then obviously you'd fill in the required fields here, the ones in red, those are required. I'm just going to write these. And then if you could, we could ask you to describe the venue. So this will be helpful in terms of describing parking, facilities, accessibility, where exactly the activity takes place if it's difficult to find, and just a bit more information. So as you can see here, I've included that information that I just discussed, just to have a bit more description in my listing. So then we've got person information, so the person running the activity. If the person varies or the activity is self-led, then please just click here and give some more details. However, if it's just one person leading the activity, just pop the information into here. And then if the person filling out the form is the same person that's running the activity, just click here. If not, obviously, do just put your details in there. For some mysterious reason, it does not autofill your first and last name. So you will just have to pop those in, but it will autofill the other sections. And then finally, we're just ending on another list. So these are some confirmations and things to commit to when signing up to join the Children's University. Again, for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to click all of these. But again, when you're filling out the form yourself, please do just take a thorough look through them and make sure that you're ready and happy to confirm and commit to these different sections. And finally, you'd click submit and your application would come through to us at the Children's University, and we would assess the eligibility of your activity to be a learning destination. If all the information is provided, or the information that we need, then we would go ahead and validate your activity, and your activity would be put up onto the website for young people, parents and teachers to see. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you very much for watching.